Hello, children. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing good. So, today, the lesson that we are going to cover is lesson number 4, and it's a poem, A Christmas Wish by Eugene Field. Alright, so before moving forward, let us just know something about Eugene Field, the poet of this poem. So, Eugene Field Sr. was born on September 2, 1850, and he died on November 4, 1895. He was an American writer best known for his children's poetry and humorous essays. So he was the poet who used to write poetry on children and humorous essays. Humorous means funny essays. He was known as the poet of childhood. He was one of the few poets who wrote only children's poetry. So he was one of those poets who used to write only for children. Their poetry was only based on children. This is how he got his nickname, the children's poet. He had one brother named Roswell, who was 1 year younger to him, and a sister who died soon after her birth. He and his brother were very close but very different. Eugene took after their mother Frances, while Roswell took after their father, which means their parents got separated. Eugene was afraid of the dark, while his brother wasn't afraid of anything. So Eugene was a little afraid of the darkness. However, his brother was a fearless boy who wasn't afraid of anything. He was a very famous poet among every generation. Alright, so let's start with our poem. So before I get into the explanation of the poem, I want all of you to please listen to me very carefully to understand the recitation of the poem and the pronunciation of each and every word. Alright, so let's start it. I'd like a stocking made for a giant and a meeting house full of toys. Then I'd go out on a happy hunt for the poor little girls and boys. Up the street and down the street and across and over the town, I'd search and find them every one before the sun went down. One would want a new jackknife, sharp enough to cut. One would long for a doll with hair and eyes that open and shut. One would ask for a china set with dishes all to her mind. One would wish a Noah's ark with beasts of every kind. Some would like a doll cook stove and a little toy wash tub. Some would prefer a little drum for a noisy rub-a-dub. Some would wish for a story book and some for a set of blocks. Some would be wild with happiness over a new toolbox. And some would rather have little shoes and other things warm to wear, for many children are very poor and the winter is hard to bear. I'd buy soft flannels for little frocks and 1,000 stockings or so, and the jolliest little coats and cloaks to keep out the frost and snow. I'd load a wagon with caramels and candy of every kind, and buy all the almond and pecan nuts and taffy that I could find. And barrels of oranges I'd scatter right in the way, so the children would find them the very first thing when they wake on Christmas Day. Alright, so let's start with the explanation of the poem. So basically, this poem talks about Christmas festival when all the children of the world are very excited because they believe that Santa would come and fulfill their wishes. So the poet is talking about the wishes that poor children would want to make on this day of Christmas, and he wants to be their Santa, okay, on this day, and he wants to fulfill all their wishes and bring a smile on their faces. So before moving forward, I would want to tell you that I would try to be bilingual to make you understand the poem well. Okay, so that you'll be able to understand the meaning of certain words and meaning of the poem as well. Okay, and you don't find any problem in that. So let's start it. I'd like a stocking made for a giant and a meeting house full of toys. Then I'd go out on a happy hunt for the poor little girls and boys. So what is stockings here? So stocking is a close fitting covering for the foot and the part of the leg. Usually it is knitted one or it's like woolen or and it could be cotton, nylon or silk as well. It could be made up of any material depending on the season. So the poet is saying that I wish for a बिग स्टॉकिंग राइट तो मुझे एक बहुत बड़ा स्टॉकिंग चाहिए बिकॉज आई एम श्योर आपको पता होगा कि क्रिसमस के टाइम पर बच्चे ये बिलीव करते हैं कि अगर वो सॉक सॉक्स वगैरह रखते हैं या स्टॉकिंग्स रखते हैं सो द सांता वुड कम एंड पुट गिफ्ट्स इनसाइड दीज stockings. Okay, so because of that the poet is saying that I want to have a big stocking, okay, and a meeting house full of toys, and he wishes to have a big meeting house, okay, which is full of toys where the toys are everywhere. Okay, and then when he is done with all these things he wants to go out on a happy hunt and he wants to look for poor little boys and girls up the street and down the street and across and over the town. I'd search and find them every one before the sun went down. So the poet is saying that I want to go in each and every corner of the town and I want to search each and every poor little girl and boy. Okay, and I want to search them before the sun sets. मुझे मुझे सूरज डूबने से पहले हर उस बच्चे को ढूंढना है जो गरीब हो, right? One would want a new jackknife sharp enough to cut. One would long for a doll with hair and eyes that open and shut. One would ask for a china set with dishes all to her mind. One would wish a Noah's ark with beasts of every kind. Some would like a doll cook stove and a little toy washtub. Some would prefer a little drum for a noisy rub-a-dub. So the poet is saying that when I will find these children, I'm going to ask for their wishes. So he's talking about the kind of wishes these children are going to ask for. So he's saying that one of these children is going to could ask for a jackknife. So a jackknife is a large pocket knife. एक knife होता है जो आप open कर सकते हैं and close कर सकते हैं. So he's saying that one child could ask for a sharp jackknife and the other one could ask for a doll with hair and the doll could open and shut her eyes. So he's saying that one child could ask for a jackknife, the other child or the girl could ask for a doll with hair, and the doll could shut and open the eyes. And he's saying that there could be one girl who could ask for a china set because she has dishes on her mind all the time. The poet is saying that there could be one girl who has dishes on her mind जो सिर्फ dishes के बारे में सोचती है, beautiful dishes which are known as china sets. So like why they are called as china set? Because these are a particular material. Okay, ये जो dishes हैं they are made up of particular material which is also known as bone china. Okay, and these basically are used to refer to tableware or crockeries. Okay, refer to ceramic tableware. Okay, so there could be a girl जिसके दिमाग पे सिर्फ dishes हैं and she wants to have a set of china set. One would wish a Noah's Ark with beasts of every kind. Now he's saying that one child could wish for a Noah's Ark. So, what is Noah's Ark? So, Noah's Ark is a kind of a very, very huge boat. So, it is said that centuries ago there was this person, Noah, who made a huge boat. एंड जब उसने ये बोट बनाया था उसने बनाया था बेसिकली यू नो ह्यूमन बींग्स को एंड एवरी स्पीशीज ऑफ एनिमल्स को बचाने के लिए फ्रॉम अ वर्ल्ड एंड गल्फिंग फ्लड. एक बहुत भयानक तूफान आया था, फ्लड आया था, जिससे बचाने के लिए उसने एक बहुत बड़ा शिप बनाया था. Okay, to start a new life on the planet. So he's saying that one child could wish for Noah's ark with beasts of all kinds. So he wants all kind of beasts. Beasts means शैतान हो गए या फिर राक्षस हो गए. Okay, some would like a doll cook stove and a little toy wash tub. And he's saying that some children could ask for toy wash tub and doll cook stove जो डॉल हाउस में आप डॉल हाउसेस में आपने देखा होगा कि डिफरेंट चीज़ें होती हैं जो डॉल के यूज़ के लिए होती हैं, राइट. So the poet is talking about those things, a cook stove and a wash tub, toy wash tub, not the real one. And he's saying that some children could prefer for a little drum, okay, जिसको वो बजा सकें and they can make noise. Some would wish for a storybook and some for a set of blocks. Some would be wild with happiness over a new toolbox. So he's saying that some children could ask for storybooks, maybe because they love reading, right? So some children could ask for storybooks and some could ask for building blocks. And he's saying that I'm sure that when I'm going to gift a new toolbox to some children, they are going to go mad with happiness. Okay? And some would rather have little shoes and other things warm to wear, for many children are very poor and the winter is hard to bear. So he's saying that since it is winter season and it is very, very difficult for these poor children to spend money on warm clothes. So he's saying that a few children could only ask for warm clothes and shoes to wear and to protect themselves from cold. I'll buy soft flannels for little frogs and 1,000 stockings or so, and the jolliest little coats and cloaks to keep out the frost and snow. And he's saying that I'm going to buy soft flannels for little frogs. I want to buy these soft flannels. Flannels is a kind of material, एक soft, warm, light fabric होता है of cotton, which is used to keep yourself warm. Okay, जो कपड़े बनाने के काम आता है और वो woolen होता है, थोड़ा warm होता है. Okay, so he's saying that I want to buy soft flannels and from those flannels I want to make little frocks for the girls. And I also want to buy thousands of stockings. I have already told you the meaning of stocking. So he also wants to buy thousands of stockings for all the children. He also wants to buy coats and cloaks. So coats, and cloaks is a large cloth. Okay, a kind of overcoat or a big cloth which is used to put over your clothes to keep yourself warm. You can easily understand this thing if you have watched Harry Potter. अगर आपने Harry Potter देखा है, उस मूवी में जितने भी magicians थे, they used to wear this cloth around their neck. उन neck से वो बांधते थे and there was this cloth जो नीचे लटकता था, right? So that is cloak. So he's saying that I wish to have little coats and cloaks for all the children जो उनको ठंड से snow से बचाएगा. I'd load a wagon with caramels and candy of every kind, and buy all the almond and pecan nuts and taffy that I could find. He's saying that I'm going to get a wagon. Wagon is a kind of a push cart or a carriage. Okay, so he wants to get this wagon जिससे वो caramel से भरे. Caramel is a melted form which is used in to put inside a चॉकलेट. ओके, चॉकलेट के अंदर ये कैरमल एक लिक्विड फॉर्म में होता है जो चॉकलेट्स के अंदर होता है. ओके, सो ही सेइंग दैट आई वांट टू लोड अ वेगन दिस कैरेज with caramels and candies of every kind, and I also want to buy almond and pecan nuts. So pecan nuts is also a kind of dry fruit, so he wants to buy almond and pecan nuts and taffy. We call it as toffee. Okay, so he wants to buy a lot of toffees. Okay, that he could find any kind of toffee. Okay, and barrels of oranges I'd scatter right in the way, so the children would find them the very first thing when they wake on Christmas Day. He's saying that he wants to scatter, you know, oranges all over, and barrels and barrels full of oranges all over in the way. So barrels means drums. Okay, so he wishes to scatter drums full of oranges in the way. When children would wake up on the Christmas day, they are going to find all these oranges around them. That is the first thing that they are going to find, and I'm sure that it is going to make them really, really happy. This is going to bring a beautiful smile on their faces. So this is what the poet wants to do on the Christmas day. He wants to fulfill wishes of each and every poor child in in his town, so that he could be a Santa in their lives. So in the next slide, we are going to see a few things which we talked about in the poem, and then you will be able to understand them in a better way when you see those pictures. Okay. All right, so let's see the things that we talked about in the poem. So we talked about stockings. So stockings look like this: long socks. Okay, jackknife, you can open and close it. Noah's Ark, you can see how big it is, right? This is caramel. You can see this liquid form, not exactly like liquid, a creamy form. Okay, so this is caramel. These shirts are made up of flannels. Okay, it's warm material. Okay, this is cloak. So now you can understand what cloak is. This is wagon. Okay, it's a carriage, small carriage. Then this is pecan nuts, the dry fruit that we talked about. Okay, all right, so I hope that you have understood the poem well. There is no problem in understanding it. However, if you come across any kind of doubt, any problem, do let me know, and I'll clear that doubt for you. All right, so see you next time. Till then, take care and goodbye.